Have you ever wished you could change your future? What if I told you you can? It is true. In this video series, I will give you an overview of how to predict your future and change it. And of course, it all has to do with the violet flame. The book I'll be working with in this series consists of a series of lectures by spiritual teacher Elizabeth Clare Prophet, who pioneered the concept of the cosmic clock. It is an intriguing title and idea, and I can say I have studied this topic quite a bit, and even though I am definitely not an expert, I've tested some basic cosmic clock principles in my own life, and it is shocking, but it really works. Let me just say that the cosmic clock is an extremely important tool in spirituality and on the path of the ascension. You'll understand why I am saying this after having watched this video series. Let's take a look at what I cover in this video series. In this first video, which you're watching right now, I will give you an introduction to the cosmic clock and some basic explanations. An important part of the cosmic clock teachings is that we all pass through specific developmental cycles all the time. Each of these cycles has 4 main segments called quadrants. And by understanding these quadrants, you'll be better prepared for your future and will actually be able to change it if you so desire. I'll cover each of these quadrants in detail in the next 4 videos in this series. Then in the last video, I'll show you how to create an overview of the cycles of your negative karma cycles as they have accumulated in your life and how you can transmute them with the violet flame. But first we'll take a look at what the cosmic clock is and how it works. So let's dive right in. Life is full of cycles. We understand the natural cycles of seasons, winter, spring, summer and fall. We're also familiar with life cycles like a cycle of growing up, an educational cycle where we go to school and perhaps university. Then some of us choose to get married and have children, the family building cycle. And at one point we decide to retire and spend our free time on other things than work. The cosmic clock is all about spiritual cycles that manifest in our lives. It's about good and bad karma returning to us. In this brief video series, I won't be able to explain everything I know and all that's covered in the book I mentioned. But it'll give you enough information to understand how to create the future you want by transmuting specific events in the past and the present, and how to preempt negative future events before they even happen. Let's start by looking at an analog clock. Every new day starts at 12 o'clock at midnight. After 24 hours, the day ends at 11:59 and 59 seconds p.m. and then a new day begins. Now let's look more closely at the 12 lines of a clock. For simplicity's sake, we'll ignore the minutes of the clock for now. But at the end of the explanations in this series, you'll understand that we're not dealing with just one cycle. There are cycles within cycles. A day has 24 hours, that's one cycle. An hour has 60 minutes, that's another cycle. A minute has 60 seconds, another cycle, and so on. Okay, in this next image you see a circle with 12 lines and numbers just as a normal clock face. In the cosmic clock method, as with a normal clock, each cycle starts at a 12 o'clock line. It moves clockwise to the 6 o'clock line and then back up to the 12 o'clock line. Now every line has a different meaning. For example, each line is associated with an astrological zodiac sign, as shown in this image. This means that every cycle on the cosmic clock starts with Capricorn. It then transitions into Aquarius and then Pisces and so on. The beauty of the clock is that every line is also associated with a divine quality, as shown in this image. On the 12 o'clock line, we find a quality of divine power or God power. The divine quality of the 1 o'clock line is God love, and so on. Let's quickly review them. 2 o'clock line, God mastery. 3 o'clock line, God control. 4 o'clock line, God obedience. 5 o'clock line, God wisdom. 6 o'clock line, God harmony. 7 o'clock line, God gratitude. 8 o'clock line, God justice. 9 o'clock line, God reality. 10 o'clock line, God vision. 11 o'clock line, God victory. So you can see how every cycle on the cosmic clock starts with a thrust of divine power. And if we conclude that cycle in the right way, it ends with a divine victory. Later in this video series, I go into more details on each of these divine qualities and show you how together they form the key building blocks of our spiritual path. But as with everything else in life, wherever there are positive and pure qualities of anything, we also encounter impurities or misqualifications of that thing. For instance, the opposite expression of divine love is hatred. The opposite of tolerance is intolerance. For praising God, it would be praising evil, and so on. So for each line in the cosmic clock, there are specific misqualifications of the God qualities. To give you an example, the misqualifications of God power in the 12 o'clock line, which comes under the sign of Capricorn, are criticism, condemnation, and judgment, and all black magic. I definitely can say that some of the most judgmental people I've ever met in my life were indeed Capricorns. But of course, anyone on any other zodiac sign is capable of criticism and judgment as well. So as you can see from just a little bit I've shared so far, the cosmic clock contains a highly interesting combination of cycles, astrology, karma, and more. Later in the series, we'll take a closer look at each single line and its qualities and misqualifications. But for now, let me explain the most important aspect of this spiritual tool. In addition to understanding each individual line, the clock allows you to take a detailed look at your entire life and see on what lines you have some good and also some bad karma. By understanding your past in this way, you can predict your future and you can start transmuting specific karma that might return to you on an individual line. Then in the last part of this video series, you'll learn how to look at your whole life as a cycle. You can identify where your weak points are located on the cosmic clock and start working on them so that they won't impact you negatively anymore in the future. Now, since I've talked about the lines of the clock being associated with astrological signs, you may be wondering at this point whether you're born on a certain line, just as you're born under a certain sun sign in the zodiac. But that's not how the clock works. There are overlaps with astrology, but these are really two different systems. Let me try to explain this. In astrology, you are born with a certain imprint of planets and stars in the heavens, like a kind of static blueprint. That's why if you're born between December 21st and January 21st, you would say, I'm a Capricorn. But the cosmic clock works differently. Think of it as a dynamic pattern that moves with you as you move through the cycles of life. In the clock, any and every cycle, no matter how long and short, starts on a 12 o'clock line. For instance, a cycle of a year starts there and takes 12 months to complete. 1 month per line. In a cycle of 12 years, you chart 1 year for each line of the clock. And in a cycle of 1 month, there are about 2.5 days on each line of the clock. Here's what this means for your own cosmic clock. The moment you are born, your clock starts running at the point of the 12 o'clock line under the influence of Capricorn and God power. Whether you are born as a Scorpio or Cancer or Aries, it doesn't matter. Your clock cycles start at the point of the 12 o'clock line. In your yearly cycle, you spend your entire first year under the influence of the energy of the 12 o'clock line and God power. On your first birthday, you move on to the 1 o'clock line and spend that next year of your life under the influence of Aquarius and God love. And so forth, until you complete the cycle of the first 12 years of your life on the 11 o'clock line under the tutelage of Sagittarius and the energy of God victory. Then on your 12th birthday, that cycle starts over at the 12 o'clock line. The beauty of this system is that on each line you will be tutored in and tested on the divine quality of that line. For instance, in a Capricorn year or cycle, you are learning the right use of divine power. You're also able to come to grips with the misqualifications of power that we looked at, which are criticism, condemnation, and judgment. In an Aries year, you are meant to gain more mastery in the divine quality of God control. The energies that oppose that journey are the perversions of that line, which are arrogance, ego, conceit, and self-deception. No matter your age, you can expect to be tested on these qualities during that cycle and so forth. So that's your yearly clock. Now, not only the yearly cycle is important in your life, but also your monthly cycle. Let's look at how this works. Let's say you were born on June 12th. In regular astrology, that means that you're a Cancer. But you know now that on the cosmic clock, June 12th is the start of your clock cycles on the 12 o'clock line. For the first month after your birthday, your monthly cycle is on the 12 o'clock line, and you grow spiritually under the influence of Capricorn. On July 12th, you'll move on to the 1 o'clock line and stay there for a month. Then on August 12th, you'll move on to the 2 o'clock line. This process continues until the 12 months of that year are up. Then on your birthday, you're back on the 12 o'clock line and start a new monthly cycle. As I said, the clock is composed of cycles within cycles. And monthly cycles are like mini cycles within the larger cycle of your years on the clock. At this point, all of this might be a bit confusing to you, but don't worry. The cosmic clock is a complex subject, and I myself probably understand only a portion of what's being taught in Elizabeth's book. But you don't have to become an expert in order to use these principles and apply them to your life. Just start with learning the basics, and with some patience and willingness to continue on this path, you can open yourself up to a completely new world and change your future. I hope you liked this video. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video in this series. Thank you for watching and have a great Violent Flame day.